Hello everyone. If it's your first time to the channel, welcome, and if it's not, welcome back. In today's video, we're going to continue playtesting in set 5. This time we're going to playtest with the Yellow Leader Enel. For those of you who may not know, his ability is that once he reaches 0 life, you can put the top card of your deck to your life, and then you can discard 1 card from your hand. The discard itself is not cost. So if you trigger something that makes you discard to where you go to 0 cards, you can still gain that life. So for example, with the Maru, you have to trash 2 cards from your hand to gain another life. So you can if you have 2 cards in hand and you trigger a Maru, you can discard those 2 cards. You gain a life through a Maru, then you would gain another life through leader ability, even though you have no cards in hand. It works similar with the Sanji trigger. If you only have 1 card in hand, you can discard that card, trigger the Sanji, and then still gain the life. For the deck profile itself, though, we are playing a Sky Island package. So I'm only playing 2 Shira, but with that, we're playing the Holy package. For 2Ks, we're running the Satoris and the Koni, so we have 6 2Ks that are Sky Island. And then the other searchable cards are the Enel, the 7-cost Rush Enel, and the Amaru itself. To supplement that, we're running a lot of cards that kind of have a trigger on them for the most part. So 2 crackers, because there's just times where you can trigger a cracker and it'll just win you the game. 4 Shirahoshi for cycling, because especially like in the mirror, you want to see your high end, and so Shirahoshi will help you filter your cards so you can see some of your big guys. Running 3 Katakuri, 4 Bays, because Bays is just broken. 4 Yamato. Forgot to mention for the Sky Island package, we're also running 3 Gadatsu. We're running 2 Big Mom, and then as far as like to get rid of opponents' blockers and just kind of characters in general, running 3 Thunderbolt as well. Yeah, so that is the deck profile, and now let's get into some gameplay. Alright, and for our first game, we actually have a game against Ace. Ace likes to go second. We kind of like to go first. I'm going to mulligan this hand. And then we'll keep. We'll have no choice but to keep. And then we'll pass. Plays an Izo. Gets a Flame Emperor. I really don't have any plays, so I'm just going to swing 8. And the next turn I can swing 6 and play the Ohm. Plays a Fiery Doll. I guess he has no plays. He's just going to go big. It's kind of a waste of a Fiery Doll, though. I'll pitch a Cracker here for Satori. I'm swinging with the Satori because he has a lot of triggers that KO 6k or less. And since I'm going to play the Ohm, that only leaves me 1 Dawn anyway. So I'm just going to swing with it first. Pitches a Flame Emperor. Then I'll swing 6 here. No trigger. And then do we get the Holy? Nice, we do. Okay. Play the Holy and pass. He has 6 Dawn. So he can't play an Ace yet. He can play a Rush Luffy. He can swing 5 at the Satori and then play a Luffy, swing 7 at it. He can Jet Pistol the Ohm, swing 7. Crossfire. Okay. Does he have the Seaquake? Oh, he has a Fire Fist. Nice. Okay, well played. I'm going to save it. I just have a little bit of pressure. I'm just going to play a Sanji here. That's all I have. So that's 6, 7. But I'm going to swing 7 with Satori, so if he has a trigger, it can't kill the Satori. And he's gone through 2 Flame Emperors, so he hopefully doesn't have one. Have another one. even if he does, and he KOs the Sanji and then goes at face for 9. Round table. Seaquake, okay. And then swings 5. That's fine, I'm going to take. And that was pretty good. Do I care about going to 1? I kind of don't. No trigger, that's fine. Because he doesn't play a lot of characters, so either way, I mean, that's just going to... I mean, he'll only be able to swing once per turn at life. Because I am going to kill the Izo. Then I'm just going to do 5, 7, 7 at life. This way he has to give me a decent bit of cards. Nice. Yeah, see, Ace doesn't run a lot of 2Ks, and so pressuring him that way, he just had to give me 3 cards. I feel pretty okay. Can't really KO the Enel, because I can just trash for life. You could play Newgate here, kill the Sanji. Interesting. I think I am going to trash. We'll get rid of one of the Thunderbolts. He's going to put me to 0. But that's pretty okay because... So I'm going to swing 7 with the Sanji. Well, actually, this is just game. Yeah, that's just game. He only had 2 cards in hand anyway. So what I could have done had he had more cards in hand, so I swung 7 with the Sanji so it doesn't die to a trigger. And then I was gonna Katakuri to put it back on life, and then I could swing 5 and 7. And then I still had a lot of cards in hand with some counter. That would have helped me survive. But yeah, that's a GG to my opponent. Alright, and for our second matchup, we have a game against Katakuri. My opponent gets to decide. He chooses to go second, so we're going to go first. Our hand isn't looking the best. We'll mulligan. I did have the Gadatsu, but it's okay. We get an Amaru, which is pretty nice for Sanji in the late game. We'll just pass. Does he have the pudding? Does have the pudding. And he gets a 10 drop. So we know the 10 drop's coming on curve. It's a pretty good start for my opponent. Swing 6. He's probably gonna... Oh, he takes. No trigger, hopefully. Nice. No trigger. Okay. He thought about it for a second, so maybe it was a Thunderbolt. I'm going to get the Gadatsu. So I can play the Gadatsu on curve. And that way, anything he plays here, I can kill with the Gadatsu. She's probably going to swing 7 and play a Pero. So he'll get a search. But at least he won't have a body on board. He could also go 5 and 7. Yeah. Goes 5 and then 7 to deny me any value. We'll counter out of 1. And then we'll take the 7. An ohm would be pretty okay here. Page, nope. No need to trigger that. Yeah. I mean, we'll just go 5 and then play the Gadatsu, kill the pudding. He goes to 6 Dawn. He can play his own Gadatsu. I'm trying to think, because like if I could play Sanji and save the Gadatsu for something, but no, next turn I'm just going to play Enel. I'm just gonna swing. I'm gonna swing with the Gadatsu first. I'll swing 6, 5, and then 7. Swings 5k. Sure, we'll take. Probably want a blocker. Am I gonna need double Enel? I don't have anything else for 9, so I don't really want to get rid of an Enel, but we'll get rid of one of the Bages for now. What can he play for 6? I mean, maybe 2 3-drops? Yeah. Alright, so here I'm just going to go... I swing with the Gadatsu first in case he gets a Thunderbolt. Because I'm not going to attach any Dawn to any of them. Gets a Brulee. Okay. Could I have Katakuri here? Katakuri his own Brulee back into life. Which is pretty bad for me. Because I lose the late game. Like most decks you want to, as an L, you want to stall out and play a little bit slower. But against Katakuri, because they can just 10 mom, 10 mom, 10 mom, they gain life, you lose life. Like, it's the one matchup where I feel like you have to be a little bit more aggressive. I wonder if he's thinking what to... What's a Katakuri, maybe? Never mind. He could just have a 7-drop Big Mom. If he swings at the Satori, we let it go. Yeah. We just let the Satori go. Eight at the Gadatsu. And then 9 at the Enel. Yeah, that's fine. If he swings at the Enel, we'll just trash the life. And then drawing a Yamato would be pretty nice. We know he's going to play Big Mom next turn. So we can just 7. Yeah, not having a Yamato or a Katakuri kind of sucks. We'll just start with 7. We'll do 7, 7. And then we'll do 8. Or I guess 7, 7, 7, sorry. We're in a really bad spot here. Because he's just going to go back up to 2 life anyway if he takes this one. He gets the Shirahoshi trigger. Trashes 2 dead cards in hand. Probably gain some counter. And then, I mean, here he's just going to Big Mom 5, 5, 5. And I don't have anything to heal. He's just gonna go 555. I have to counter out of this. So there's no. I don't know why I'm thinking about it, and I know he's gonna go 555. I have to counter out of these, so I heal the life he trashes, which is annoying, but it just is what it is. Yeah. I mean, there's not much I can do here, unfortunately. Big Mom is just devastating. I need to save the Amaru for a Sanji. So what can I do here? 9, 9, 10. I mean, I don't think I win here, regardless. I can do Amaru, which puts him to 5, so it's 7. So 7, let's just do 7 here. Yeah. The most I can do is 7 and then another 7 and then 9. There's nothing to rest. Yeah, I mean, if he can get out of this, there's just nothing I can do. She takes, which means he had the counter for the 9K most likely. And he didn't. Hey, nice. Okay, so honestly was not expecting to win that game. It seemed like we were in a pretty bad spot, but there's just times where you just kind of have to go for it. And in that case, it worked out for us. Nice. He only had 3K worth of counter. Okay, he probably got this one out of life, so 7 was exact. We'll take it. Nice. GG. That's a GG to my opponent. Kid. We'll go first. It's a pretty decent hand, so we'll keep. Nothing to play, so we're just gonna swing 8. And pass. Swing 6, we'll take. He's probably going to swing 6 again. Yeah. We don't want to go too low too early against Kid, because he's probably just going to swing big most of the time. Swing 6 here. Play the Ohm. Do not get the Holly. And don't have one in hand. So we'll just pass. And then this turn, I mean, he can go 8-8. No trigger. And no. Is it worth it? I think it's kind of worth it in this case because I know how he's playing. We're going to get rid of the 2 Enels because I'm going to play the Linlin next turn. And he's also getting rid of a lot of cards in hand. And I just kind of want to stall to where I can play my Yamato. But if I stayed at the 1 life, then he was going to... Damn, that KO's a 4 cost. That's a pretty good trigger. It's a pretty good trigger there. And then I'm just going to play Big Mom. Okay. If I had stayed at 1 life, he would have had me at 0 life. This turn. Because he would have swung 10-10. And I wouldn't have been able to counter out of either one. But now we're okay. Because I'm going to play the Yamato. And I have my Linlin on board, which he probably can't do much about. That was honestly a pretty clutch trigger there. Seven again, and then 6 maybe, or play a blocker. But we'll take Shirahoshi. We'll trash a Thunderbolt, and we'll trash a Shirahoshi. So now, instead of playing Yamato, I could even play the Cracker. We're going to go 5 here, because 6 and 8 just makes it easy for him to use a Punt Gibson to get out of one of them. So I'm going to go 5, and he gets a Punt Gibson out of trigger. I thought I was playing the lucky trigger deck. Either way, we're just going to Katakuri the Shirahoshi back to life. And then we can do it again next turn. We have another Katakuri for when he takes life. Or if not, we have a Yamato. But we're pretty set to just keep stalling and just keep poking at his resources. With the Enel, like, if you have a bunch of heal, there's games where it just, you feel like you can't lose. When you don't see your high end is when the deck feels a little rough sometimes. Like, if you just have, like, Crackers, Ohms, Holies, Gadatsus, and don't see any, like, Katakuris or Yamatos, it feels a little weird. It feels a little lackluster anyway. Triggers obviously help to offset that, but 9 will take. Get rid of 1 Yamato. We'll get rid of a Cracker. And then he just passes with a lot of Dawn Up. I mean, I'm just going to go ahead and Katakuri it again. So that leaves me 2 Dawn. So I can go 5-9-9. I have a lot of cards in hand, so I arguably could play a lot more aggressive here, but the fact that he has to give me an event to get out of a 5k swing is pretty telling. I'm just gonna do 9-9-9. Actually, I mean, he could be baiting me, right? He could have 2 more events. That puts him up to 13. 9, that's 17. So I mean, he'd have 2k, 2k, 1k. He probably doesn't have it, but I don't need to go for it, right? That's giving him a win condition when I don't have to. So, because I can just play the game slow. Yeah, so there's 1 event. Does he not have another? And he has to give me another too. That's tempting. I could technically put 8 on Shirahoshi and go, but there's no, like I said, there's no need. We just keep we just keep healing and just stall the game and then just grind him out little by little, and we'll eventually win the game instead of like throwing a Hail Mary for no reason, and that could be our lose condition. But yeah, either way, that's it. That is a GG to my opponent. All right, and for our fourth and final game, we have a game against Lucci. He chose to go second. I'm going first. I have 2 Yamatos, but the rest of my hand is a little mid. But I have 2 Yamatos. We're gonna keep and just hope we have some triggers in life that maybe help, or we draw into something that's pretty good. Plays the Ennius lobby, which gives -2. Okay, good to know. We did get an Ohm, so that's pretty good for next turn. I'm just gonna swing 8 and then pass. Plays a Spandam. Does he have a Fukuro? He gets a 2k counter, okay. And he gets a Bueno. Was he trashed? He does have 2 CP9, so his Kaku is live. Oh, nice. Okay, so that plays our curve out perfectly. Because next turn we'll play the Lin and then into Yamato. And we do get a Holy, so that's pretty good. We did not bottom deck another Yamato, but we did bottom deck a Katakuri. But here he's probably going to play the Kaku, swing 6, and kill the Ohm. Next turn is his 8 Dawn turn, so he could play Fujitora. I don't really have a way to play around it unless we get a trigger here. Which we didn't. We just have to hope that he doesn't get... And he hits a Kaku off an air door. Wow. What a hit. That's... If he had a Kaku in hand, that's really ballsy. Because he could have just swung 6 and played the Kaku. I mean, that was... It's pretty good. It's pretty good. It's okay. This deck has very hard time against Enel. I honestly don't know. Not really. I don't play yellow too often. So I've not played this matchup before, but I wouldn't be surprised that it does. Traditionally, Lucci has struggled against yellow, but that was more so because of Big Mom. Does he have another Kaku? Gets another one off an air door. Wow. That is it's pretty crazy. It's pretty crazy. Did he just play the Hina this turn? He had to have, right? Yeah, so he can only do 6/6. I actually can save. We'll save it just so we can apply a little bit more pressure. Because he doesn't have a lot of cards in hand. Actually, before I even swing, I'm going to play the Yamato so we can kill one of the Kakus. And then I'll swing. There's also an argument to be made that I could have just not swung with the Holy. But if he gets another Kaku or some form of removal, then I didn't swing for no reason. He can still play Fujitora here. But I haven't really had an opportunity to get too low on cards. Plays a Sabo. Okay, that stops another Yamato. It's pretty good. Also stops a Thunderbolt. That means my Yamato is surviving. Yeah. We're just going to let it go. Is he going to use Leader? He does use Leader, okay. Yeah, we'll take that. No trigger. And then he's probably going to go for game next turn. I could block her up. I could also Yamato and just heal again. That's probably the best play. It's just to... Because if I play the 7-drop, he might just take a life. That would force him... If he takes a life and I swing 8, 9, it would force him to Sabo block. But I would only have 1 life, and he would have a lot of attackers. But if I Yamato, then I know for a fact that I gain that life. And this way, a lot more of his attacks have to go through. And I don't have an amazing amount of counter, but I have 5k worth of counter. But he's probably gonna go. He can go 11 at the Yamato. No, if he goes 11 at the Yamato with leader, I'll save it. But we'll see what he does. Nine at life. Yep, we'll take that one. No trigger. What can he do here? He can do 7, 7, 9. Or just 9, 9. We'll take this one, no trigger, and we'll get rid of here. I don't think that was correct. I can get out of 7, 7. Yeah, I don't think he swung in the correct order. I mean, this is just game, so I'm gonna take. Oh, it was a beige. I could have just let the last one go and then beige, but that's fine. I mean, that's just game. Yeah, that is a GG to my opponent. I guess he was right. I guess it is a rough matchup for Lucci. He hit 2 Kakus off life, but he didn't really have any high end. Is I think the problem. I think my Yamatos were just too much value, and then he can't really do anything about them. So they just sit there and they apply too much pressure. If he would have gotten an Isho on curve, I think this matchup could have gone a little bit differently. But, or if he played like a 10 drop, that would help. But either way, yeah, that's a GG to my opponent. All right, and for our actual final game, we have a game against Monkey D. Luffy. I'm gonna choose to go second. This hand isn't the best, so I'm gonna keep. I do have the Shura for turn 2. Then I have a Holy. And I did get a Yamato. Nice. Okay, so definitely made it better. I'm going to get the Ohm here. And then pass. And next turn, I'm not going to play the Ohm. That's tricky. If I play the Ohm, I can't swing. But I can swing 6 with leader. Play the Holy, and then the turn after play the Ohm. He can play the Zoro here. We'll take no trigger. He does play the Zoro. We'll swing 6 here, and I'm gonna do the play the Holy, because then next turn I can swing 6 with the Holy, 6 with leader, and still play the Ohm. Wonder if he's thinking on whether to take or not. He does decide to take. Doesn't get a trigger. Play the Holy and pass. Plays the Law and hits my Yamato. That is rough. At least he didn't hit the Ohm, I guess. But him hitting a Yamato sucks. I'm going to counter out of this one, because he's going to swing 7. I don't want to go too low. No trigger. Okay, so we got a Katakuri at least. I'm gonna go 6 at the Zoro. Six at leader. Play the Ohm. Hope for a Holly. Let's go. And play the Holly and pass. Okay. Trying to think if there was a way we could have played around it. I mean, we could have countered out of his first swing. It's probably the only way. But you kind of pray for that first trigger. No, that's the better play is to counter out early. So I should have countered one of the Beiges for his first 6K swing. And then that way I don't play into the 4-drop law. Yeah, that's fine. We'll let it go. And then next turn, I'm just going to Katakuri, put the Shura into life. And then just swing 6. Well, I'm going to swing 6 with the Ohm first. He plays another blocker. And passes. So I'm going to swing 6 here first. And then because if I play the Katakuri and put the Shura into life, then I'll have 3 life, and so my Ohm won't be a 6K. I could also go 6 and then 7, but no, this is fine. Then I do have another Ohm. Seems like my opponent didn't draw any high end, which I'm okay with. So he's probably going to play a queen here. Oh, a Luffy. Okay. Yeah, this is fine. And here we will get... Don't want counter, don't want Amaru. We'll get the Amaru so that he knows that I have it, and it kind of makes him worried about playing, like having to play around it. Like it's just like something in the back of his mind that he knows he has to worry about. And then here, I mean, we'll just swing here first. He lets it go. Okay, nice. So we'll go 6. We'll go 6. And then I'm gonna play the Enel and go 8. And he blocks nice. Okay, so we know he doesn't have too much trigger. Or too much counter, I mean. He does finally get some high end. He uses it to buff up to his leader to a 7K. If he puts everything on leader, that's 11. He will swing 11 at the Katakuri. Oh, okay. Plays Makino to bump up the Nami. Nami into the Ohm. That's fine. We let it die. 9 at the Katakuri. That is an easy 2K. And then he leaves one up for Rad Beam. Okay, so we're going to start with... I can't use Amaru, right? Because we're at 2 life. But I can Thunderbolt the Law. Is it worth it? If I Thunderbolt the Law, that gives me 8 Dawn to work with. So I can do 7. I guess I could do 9, 9, 10. Do I die next turn? That's a good question. We'll start here first. We'll go Shura into Makino. Okay. He lets it go. Because the other thing is, I mean, I could... I can Thunderbolt the Law and then still play the Sanji, and that should be okay. Alright, and so let's just do this first. We'll go 9 here first. Okay. So I can do 7, 8, and play the Sanji. Oh, and he takes. Guard point triggered. So he's at 8. So the most he can do is 12 though, right? I mean, I think that's just game though, because I have the Amaru. And then I put the other 5, so I'm at 13. So 13 at his 8, and then he shouldn't be able to get out of this. Nice. Okay. GG. Yeah, no, that's a GG to my opponent. He asked for a rematch. We'll give him a rematch. He chose to go second. Okay. So I'm gonna... I can't play around the law here, unfortunately, because he's going second. If he has it, he has it. I'm gonna get a 2K counter. We just have to hope it doesn't hit our Katakuri and our Yamato. Yeah, so okay, so we learned our lesson. We're gonna... Well, I wasn't at 7, I was at 6. Okay, never mind. So we learned our lesson, though. Rest an opponent's character with 4 or less, which that's fine. Okay, so we're gonna go 7 and play the Holy. Play the Holy and pass. Then I'll go to 7 Dawn next turn. I'm gonna play the Enel. Or if he doesn't kill the Holy, I can do 6 with the Holy, 7 with Leader, and then play Sanji. Okay, so he doesn't have a play. We'll actually get a Sanji. Nice. I'm going to get rid of the Enel. So now here we can do 6, 6, 6 and play a Sanji, which is a lot of pressure. Or we could honestly even go 6, 6, 7 and then play the Holy. Nah, we'll go 6, 6, 6 and play the blocker. And this is we're putting up a lot of pressure, which is what Red Purple Luffy struggles with, and he has to give me a Jet Gatling. Okay. Yeah, so it didn't matter if we swung 6 or 7 there, since either way. And he got rid of a new gate. Okay, so he probably has another new gate. So the new gate's probably coming here. But not playing it. Or maybe he doesn't have one. But then I wouldn't have gotten rid of that new gate. That new gate there was gold. Yeah, no, you got him. And then he can clear another one, honestly. Maybe he just doesn't have counter, so that's what he was worried about. Yep. I mean, and then here, he's representing that he doesn't have much. Let's just do this first. Let's go 6 here and see what he does. He does have the 1K. All right, that's fine. So I'm not going to swing. And we're just going to play it a little slow. Because I could swing into the Usohachi. Actually, that was dumb of me. Because he can just rest the Holy anyway. So maybe I should have swung into it. And his Nami whiffs. That's not good. That is not what he wanted to see. I really want to know what's in his hand. Yep, we're going to take that. We'll trigger. Or a 2K. I already have an Ohm, so we'll get a 2K. And then here, he can clear the Holy. But what can I do here? 10, 13. I can do 11, 12. Let's just start with 10 and see what happens. This is a Rad Beam. This is 2 cards, with one of them being a Rad Beam minimum for him to get out of this. He takes, there's no reason for me not to go for it. I still have 3 life, plenty of cards in hand. And so, yeah. And I have a Thunderbolt in case he's able to get out of it. But he's not. His hand was, he had the 9-drop. He could have played the 9-drop earlier. Maybe it's because he had no counter. He was worried that if I went 8-8-8, that was just game. But that's the downside of playing Red Purple Luffy sometimes. It's just your hand is just, you either don't see your big guys, or there's times where you see too many. Either way though, that is a GG to my opponent. All right, and for our final thoughts on the deck, yellow itself isn't my playstyle, but I can see the interest and intrigue for the deck. It is very consistent. It is very strong. But it just has a little bit of a, you have to start playing it a little bit slower, and you have to play it a little bit safer than you do some other decks. You kind of want to starve your opponent sometimes and drag the game out, and so it can make for some longer games at times. But it's just very strong, very consistent. Like, if you can see your high end and just keep healing, it makes it really hard for your opponent to kill you. Enels are really good in like the Sakazuki matchup, and when you play against Katakuri, because it just helps you provide that extra pressure that you need sometimes. Also being a body that's hard to get rid of. Linlin for a little bit more of like your off meta decks, or like your aggressive decks at times that kind of need those resources, and it makes it to where they're stuck between choosing whether to heal you or to get rid of some of their resources. So neither one's a good choice for them. Thunderbolt's an insane card. It wins you so many matchups. The Thunderbolt and Amaru both can win you so many different matchups, because you can just Thunderbolt a blocker for your last life. You can use Amaru to pump up some of your little guys like your Shura, for extra added pressure at the end of game. Overall, like I said, it's a really, really strong deck. Definitely a meta contender, as you've seen. If you guys have seen some of the results lately, it's won a lot of the big events. This and Sakazuki are the 2 best decks at the moment. And so if you don't like Sakazuki, Enel is definitely one of the other choices that you can choose as a meta contender. So with that though, thank you guys all so much for the support. I really appreciate each and every one of you, and I hope that you have an amazing day.